Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third Pasture Perspective. Today we will be discussing Flight to the Finish, Season 4, Episode 5. We are recording this immediately after watching this on December 14th, 2013. I am, of course, as always, Scott. I have here with me BlueBastard.
Yeah, hello. I'm also Kronos on the forums.
Or Kronos,
so,
yeah. I'm going to call you Blue because that's what it says in the chat room right
now.
now.
Yeah, everyone just calls me Blue these days.
Okay. We have Corpy.
Hello.
We have MadSurge.
Hello.
We have Nick.
Yo.
All right. Let's start everything off with just an off-the-top snap, instant thoughts, one-shot thoughts. What do you think, Blue?
Well, definitely pretty strong episode. I mean, it's a Scootaloo episode, and hopefully they can keep... Like, the last one was pretty good. It was pretty good, too.
All right. MadSurge, what'd you think?
I liked it.
You liked it. All right. I'm going to go ahead and insert myself into the middle of this conversation. My little one-shot thought my one-shot thought is it wasn't epic. I had a hard time engaging with it, but it wasn't bad. Corpy, what'd you think?
Yeah, not the greatest CMC episode, but not the worst either.
All right. Nick, your little one-shot thought?
I really liked it. We need more Scootaloo episodes anyway, and it was a pretty strong start from another new writer. I think it was Ed Valentine.
Really?
Yeah, that's right. This was a new writer episode, so it's like 3 so far?
Wow, we're all over the place with new writers. I'm liking it. I'm enjoying it.
Let's just hope they don't turn everyone into alicorns.
All right. Off of our fancy list of bullet points, Corpy, do you want to pick our first discussion point?
Yeah, let's talk about Harshwinnie coming back.
All right. What do you want to talk about it?
Well, interesting character that they really didn't do much with the first time she showed up, and in this one you can kind of get more of a sense for her personality, and it seems that she was animated a lot better this time as well.
One thing that struck me was that there was a lot going on with like the pursing of her lips and stuff, and I think this is going to show up on every pony so far.
Bags under her eyes and stuff.
Yeah,
she was.
Go ahead.
Okay, like you know how kissy lips would be in comparison to like how you draw a normal face. Like this was like a bunch of that kind of stuff.
A lot of duck face going on.
Pretty much, like your lips were curling, and you're like, yeah.
I thought in Games Ponies Play, she wasn't a character. She was a plot point. Yeah, she was a device. So yeah, they did give her some character, but she was still very much background, or pretty much a background character. I wouldn't even put her on the same league as even Cheerilee. Still,
no, and Cheerilee spoke in this episode too for the first time in a while, I think.
Has it been a while? I don't remember much.
I don't think she spoke at all last season. She was in the background a few times, but
really,
Huh.
I don't remember. I'm trying to go through season 3 in my head, and I'm failing to go through season 3, much less identify what was going on.
I think that might be true.
I'd believe it. I'd buy into that.
Yeah, let me check the wiki really quickly because it'll probably list something. Like, it lists if she has a speaking role or she just appears in the background.
Well, while you do that, let's on topic of. Well, I'm trying to figure out how to segue this. Okay, background characters. Twist. Because everybody was getting all up about Twist being there. What did we think about Twist making her return appearance? Any thoughts?
Really interesting. They're trying to keep some kind of continuity with the class, like the exact class makeup. Even though, if I recall correctly, the voice actress that played Twist isn't on the show anymore. It hasn't been for some time.
Well, I can't say that I'm hurt.
yeah, you don't miss her voice, but she's there in the physical sense.
Well, yeah, because otherwise how can we keep giving her crap?
Exactly.
Speaking of voices, just looked it up. Cheerilee only showed up in episodes 4, 6, and 11 in season 3 and did not speak at all.
Oh,
right.
Well, there you
Wow.
go.
There you go.
We didn't have any CMC as students at all, though. We had individual character pieces most of the time for the CMC in season 3. However, I do see the CMC moving forward in their development as both individuals and as a group. What do you guys think about that?
It's certainly something that they started with back in One Bad Seed, was it? Oh, One Bad Apple, the Babs episode, where Sweetie did the thing with the magic, which is like the only time in the show so far that's actually happened.
Yeah, little spurt. Well,
yeah.
That kind of when they were getting after Scootaloo, when DT and Silver Spoon were getting after Scootaloo, I was thinking, well, I mean, Sweetie can't levitate, and as far as we know, AB can't buck. So, there's shit. I just broke my pen.
Whip pen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I get what you're saying. They went after Scootaloo for her failure to fly rather than the other two for their shortcomings. So maybe flying is just more important to Pegasi than magic is to unicorns.
Well, I can honestly see that being the case because Pegasi, that's their thing. That's their I know we didn't want to get too deep into societies, and we're not getting into real society. Let's get into pony society. Fake societies. That seems to be, a very core concept to the Pegasus race. They build cities in the sky. Heck, even most Ponyville Pegasi don't live on the ground, although the only one we know where she lives is Dash. So I can see how that is a huge deal for Scootaloo. They also do point out that it is now canon that Scootaloo should be able to fly by now. That has been pointed out, that there is something unusual with her flying.
It's just incapable of it at the moment.
Yeah. Somebody's putting a note in there. Who's light blue? And go ahead and touch on that. Oh, it's a spectator. So, someone else pointing out, all the Pegasi seem to be capable of flight, with the exception of Scootaloo. We don't know the nature of that situation yet. But unicorns have different magic specialties. I have kind of my thought, but I want to let someone else weigh in on that before I jump in with mine. What do you guys? Anybody have something to say on that topic?
I mean, I think it was, as much as I seem to be talking all the time here, I remember, Pokey Pierce from Call of the Cutie, wasn't his special talent literally just using his horn to pop balloons?
Yeah. That was a little sight gag. I don't think. This is My Little Pony, master of soft canon. So I feel reading too much into a background pony isn't conducive to the show.
I guess one thing to consider is, with the unicorn, not just with Pegasi needing to fly, there is, unicorns that seem to universally have telekinesis.
That's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah. And they use their magic for different things depending on their talent. Like we know with Rarity, she uses it to help with her designing, and she also uses it to find gems.
Yeah, her levitation is very dexterous.
Right.
So that's an interesting carry through on that topic. MadSurge, you want to pick our next topic? What do you want to talk about?
How evil can Diamond Tiara get?
Yeah.
That was what I was gonna go with.
Haha, stole your plot.
Well, we can have turns.
So
I just wanted to point out what Nightmare Moon gets redeemed, Discord gets redeemed. What's his face? the crystal astral gets destroyed, and
Oh, you're
the
looking for Sombra?
changelings are missing in action. She doesn't get the natural farm.
You're kind of getting after DT's the only real monster left.
She's
Kind of.
She's like the closest thing we have to a recurring villain.
Can we really say closest thing? Because
Yeah, she is at this point a recurring villain. Every time she shows up, you know that she's, gonna be terrible.
Yeah.
And that's her only power, really, is to be terrible.
Yeah. What does that say? I mean, can we carry that forward into anything beyond? Yeah, DT sucks. She's mean. Is there any further discussion on that, or?
Well, her effectiveness as a villain is limited to how it affects the CMCs. If Scootaloo could just shrug off, the crap that DT was saying, but
And adults don't
because she
seem
has
to.
that lack of confidence is what makes it an
think,
episode.
I think a big thing to keep in mind is, a lot of the villains that we're comparing her to are super villains.
Yeah.
They're magical beings that aim to visibly and tangibly harm the world. DT is not that kind of villain. She's a social villain.
Yeah, and that's more relatable, actually, to real life, because those are the kind of individuals that you might actually encounter. You're not going to actually, in your real life, run up against some sort of reality-bending, shape-shifting
Heck, how many of us
creature.
are going to punch Hitler or Stalin?
Yeah, exactly.
Raise your hand if you expect in your life to go toe-to-toe with Hitler or Stalin.
Too late.
Oh. Dang it.
But you will, in your life, encounter people that are a dick to you because you're different from them.
Mm-hmm. So, I
think one thing, do we actually know what Diamond Tiara's special talent is?
Being rich.
Being snooty.
Based on her cutie mark, her special talent is having a tiara on her head. So take her tiara away, she's got no power. She's powerless. I wonder if her cutie mark would fade away when she takes it off. It's fake. It's an illusion.
It's a hologram in the tiara.
I would actually think
that would be a cool as hell plot.
Yes.
Someone go ahead, Blue.
Yeah, because in Call of Duty, like the scene where Twilight's going through the cutie marks on Apple Bloom, like it shows she can create them. They just don't stay unless, I guess, constant magic is around or something.
That goes back into the soft canon. Magic is whatever it needs to be for the plot.
Yeah, but we're just saying, like, they've done that kind of thing before.
With the fake cutie mark situation. Well, but in Cutie Pox, it could generate, or Cutie Pox were able to create a semi-permanent cutie mark repeatedly. So, soft canon.
Don't have to explain anything.
Yeah, I don't have to explain shit. It's magic. Nick, you want to grab next point? Since Matt stole your topic.
I don't know if it was already on the list and it got taken off or it just wasn't there, period. But I wanted to talk about the increase in the quality of animation for this episode.
Yeah, I've been seeing the increase across the season.
It looked really good in this episode, especially during the song.
Yeah.
This is lightning
perspective.
Perspectives, lighting. This is stuff that you're not going to be seeing in Season 1.
Yeah, a lot of custom angles. And new faces. I saw another new Dash face.
Yep.
There's been a lot of new Dash faces recently.
The show's come a long way.
Yeah, and one thing I noticed that was cool was when Diamond Tiara was mocking Scootaloo for her wings, they had their, what was it? They changed They had like there were Scootaloo's wings reflected in her eyes while she was doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I noticed that they've been playing with the lighting a lot. Edge lighting.
Yeah.
They've been doing it for the past few episodes. It's in Castlemania. I feel like it got a little over the top. It was too highlighted, I felt. But when the CMC were standing on top of the hill and the sun was lighting them, that looked good. That looked really good. And I think the big reason the lighting is, glaring to us is we're used to these characters being flat shaded.
Yes.
They've been flat shaded for 3 seasons now, 2.5 seasons.
It's really noticeable.
Yeah. Next thing you know, they're going to start, skipping Flash and just do the whole thing in SFM, Source Filmmaker.
Oh god.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what we need.
Just do it all with the Gmod ponies.
Those old Gmod models.
Yes, those terrible ones.
I remember when those came out. Oh wow.
So much Uncanny Valley.
The modern ones aren't that bad, I have to say. The guy who actually built the original version 1 ones isn't the one who's built the ones that were used for the past 2 years.
Thank God.
But he went back with the original ones and refactored them like crazy hard. And he came back and Sunshine Celery Stalks is one of the ones that we've got that we run a lot in the idle loop.
Those are good.
Yeah, those are the new version 1 models updated. And those are really good. So I don't think those ones actually work in Gmod proper. I think those ones really only work properly in Source Filmmaker.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I remember the original version 1s didn't work in Source Filmmaker all that well because they were just Gmods with a hastily applied bones or connection, I think.
Yeah, rigging. Yeah. All right, we're a little off topic here. Let's bring it back in. Blue, you want to pick a topic?
All right. One thing that struck me was even though it seemed kind of like oblivious with how they were saying like Ponyville is like the place where all three pony types live together in harmony, that's actually kind of true, sort of.
Yeah, we haven't seen this kind of diversity anywhere else.
Yeah, I was thinking like, well, you got Earth and Pegasi up in Canterlot and stuff, but it is mostly unicorns up there.
Yeah, not even. Yeah, it's almost entirely unicorns if you look at the street scenes. I do think I've noticed, or this might just be me letting my love for fan fiction completely recolor my perception of the show. Let me know if I'm wrong. But I do feel like the Pegasus population, Ponyville is mostly Earth ponies.
And they said in the show it was founded by Earth ponies.
Right. But it does have a respectable Pegasus and unicorn population.
Yeah, more mixed than we've seen in other locations.
Yeah, because Appaloosa, I don't think we saw any non-Earth pony in Appaloosa.
No.
It was all Earth ponies, yeah.
It was all Earth ponies.
Because it's an agricultural settlement.
Yeah, and with Cloud's Day, we already know that Earth ponies and unicorns can't really live up there because they'll just fall through the clouds without any kind of magic.
Unless they're an animation error.
Unless they're an animation error. I see you there, Lyra. Repeatedly. Lyra's in the stands a lot, actually.
She likes to photobomb.
Yeah. So, that's an interesting question coming up. What have we been noticing anything interesting going on with the background ponies? I wasn't watching them the past few episodes.
I wasn't really paying attention.
One thing I did notice, mainly because I was doing research for Dinky for reasons I don't wish to disclose at this time. But Dinky, Golden Harvest, and some light gray bluish unicorn have been appearing like together a lot. And in this episode, like when Apple Bloom and Sweetie are going all over the train station looking for Scootaloo, in the background you can see them visibly embrace, which is like the first time we've seen anything close to a mixed couple on this show.
Yeah. I think the background has pretty well nuked the Dinky Doo Derpy family, but I still really like that pair, so I'm game for it, even though it's not supported. Let's do a little bit of voice acting discussion. This is, I believe, the first episode where Claire Corlett sang for Sweetie Belle. Up until now, Michelle Creeper, the voice of Apple Bloom, had been doing Claire's singing.
Yeah, I remember the first time at the I watched that Everfree panel. Claire was just busting out these really deep tones, and so I was pretty surprised because it does unmistakably her, but maybe she's been doing stuff on the side.
Yeah, from what I saw at the conventions way back when, it was back in the 2010 conventions, she did not buy into her singing voice. She didn't like her singing voice, and so she wouldn't take the part. And it took me until midway through season 2 to learn that Michelle was singing for Sweetie Belle, which interested me because Michelle did a really good job with Sweetie Belle singing. It turned into an issue when Michelle then needed to, in the same song, sing for Apple Bloom, because then she had to completely exaggerate her accent to make the voices separate. But
well, that problem is solved now.
Yeah, that's a non-issue now. I hope to hear Apple Bloom's accent kind of back off in the songs because from being so insanely Southern.
Yeah, it was really country in season 2.
It was kind of over the top. But during the songs, I could actually pick out that there were 3 completely separate voices, which is new.
Yeah. And it was a group song, so it'd be interesting to see how it comes through if there's solo parts.
Well, Sweetie did start the reprise on her own.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty good. I liked it.
Ah, okay.
Someone pointed out Scootaloo's voice seems to have changed. Well, Sweetie Belle's voice has also seemed to change since the season transition.
Puberty.
Yeah, Claire Corlett, her voice is not quite so squeaky anymore, and she's trying. You can tell she's trying really hard to keep the voice consistent. Yeah, and the characters are growing up, so I can still buy into it. But something that seems to have caught some people off guard was Madeline Peters' Scootaloo voice seems to have changed again. It doesn't seem quite as raspy as it was in season 3. Yeah.
Came across a little flat this episode.
I don't know whether she's wanting to take the voice a different direction or whether she had a bad day in the studio. But it was since we're talking about voices, might as well bring it up. Might as well note it. I also noticed Dash seemed to be yelling a lot. I don't know if, correct me if I'm wrong, but has that been the way it's always been in when doing Dash's voice, where she's pretty much gone yellular?
I think some of it might have just... Well, go ahead, Nick.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think some of it might have just been playing into the role of being a coach in this episode.
And it's all sort of contrast the more professional act that, oh god,
Harsh Winnie?
Yeah, that Harsh Winnie wanted from her.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Dash also had our first ever inner monologue. We've never heard the inside of a pony's head before.
Have we?
We've seen the inside of a pony's head.
I don't think
pinky, so that doesn't really apply.
And we've had narrations, like internal narrations, or reading silently.
Yeah, and we had them talking to themselves, but
but usually when they're talking to themselves, they're
Out loud,
shown
yeah.
speaking out loud.
Oh.
This is, I believe, our first actually internal monologue. A little short, and I don't know what to think. I generally feel like internal monologues are often used to cheat exposition dumps.
Yeah.
But
in
they
this
didn't.
case, it wasn't really exposition. It was just kind of a B
Right.
or C plot.
Right,
With
and I think
Dash
that
trying to be professional.
I think that's why it works, is because there
It's
was no
just-
exposition to it.
Right.
And generally, we've had scenes where Rainbow Dash looks like she's having some serious inner monologuing going on.
Yeah, we've seen in the past 2 episodes, Rainbow Dash seems to be a little two-brained a lot recently. You know, she has what she wants to be and what she expects herself to be.
Right. She has to
Going
talk
on.
herself into doing things the way that she thinks she should do it.
Yeah, because we had, you know, a lot of that in Daring Don't. She wants to be, you know, a complete fangirl, but she expects herself to be a valuable partner. You know, the expectation versus the desire. In this episode, she wants to be, you know, super excited. She wants to completely freak out and geek out. You know, that's awesome, yeah. But she's expected to be impartial and helpful. Rainbow Dash. Loyalty shines through, says MadSurge. MadSurge had to turn his microphone off because of reasons. Anything else anybody wants to bring up? Oh, what do we think of the song? How do we think the song went?
I like
Other than the fact that we have like hearts of horses. Like, of course you do. You are horses.
No, they're not. They're ponies. Ponies
They're ponies.
Ponies are a different species.
Miniature equines.
Ponies does not equal horses.
Which
Nah.
raises the question of where are the horses?
Well,
Saddle Arabia.
Saudi Arabia.
Saddle Arabia. Yeah, there you go.
I think the song fit well into the episode's narrative, but I'm not sure how it would stand up by itself as a song. But it did fit well into the episode's narrative.
Gotta say, in general, I don't care for CMC songs. I think they're too poppy for my taste. That they like to do, you know, your abstract or, you know, non-literal background shots or background bits, you know, where they do pattern shots instead of locations.
Like it's a music video instead of
Yeah,
just-
they do a lot of music video stuff. It first really popped out at me during Babseed. I do not like the presentation of that song. It pulls me out of the show.
Yeah,
But
I do gotta agree there.
But that's you know, the actual performance of the song, very well done. I enjoyed the performance. I don't like the way they present CMC songs.
Well, it's still better than the way it was presented all the way back in Showstoppers.
Well, a lot of people
Yeah, that-
enjoyed Showstoppers. They're like, it's ironically bad. And I'm like, I don't care. It's still bad. And I don't want to listen to it anymore.
Different strokes.
Different strokes.
Yeah,
MadSurge says he liked it. I am a butt. And that very well might be true.
one of those things is true.
Or both.
Or both.
True.
All right. We've actually knocked out pretty much all the bullet points. Pacing. How do we feel it paced? Pacing's a big issue for My Little Pony. How'd it do?
As usual, it came along at a pretty good clip, right up to the end where suddenly, well, somehow Skulu is able to go, so many times faster than a train.
Well, yeah.
Like,
How did they catch up to it?
Because they're cartoons.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd buy that as because they're cartoons. Yeah, I felt like it didn't, you know, pull the, oh shit, we've got 2 minutes, wrap it up issue. I felt it was pretty steady pace throughout. Anybody disagree? Dare you to. I'm going to take that as a no and cut out that. And then I will trim out that big long silence so that it sounds like, I just cut you guys off and then give you a chance to respond.
I wholeheartedly agree with you, Scott.
I will cut that out too, Corpy.
Because it's a lie.
Yeah, okay. We'll get it in post. All right. I think that's pretty much everything we wanted to talk about today. Any last thoughts? Corpy, any last thoughts before we wrap it up?
Nope.
Okay. Nick, feel like we missed anything? Anything you want to talk about?
Nope, but bye, Twist. See you in season 5.
Yeah. Blue, any last thoughts?
Oh, well, it does feel like we're back at season 2. So, and I won this season, oh God, no. So,
what do you mean? It feels like we're back in season 2?
This is the kind of it isn't the great it isn't the high point of ponies, but compared to a lot of the stuff that we're getting in season 3, and then Equestria Girls in general, this is the kind of show that I actually really like. So I'm glad to see holding that.
Okay. MadSurge says he hopes the next episode stays as good and that we see more CMC. MadSurge, I'm never inviting you to another one of these again. You blew it. You lost your chance. Overall, I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was the most memorable episode, but it was serviceable. It wasn't memorably bad either. We've got several memorably bad episodes. All right. I think we're going to call that a day. I believe it was a relatively short Pasture perspective. Hooray.
Yay.
We're going to wrap it up. Say bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
See you next time.